explosive day 25 of the Diddy trial. We are back, Trent Out Loud, reporting live from the Diddy trial right in front of 500 Peel Street. We gave you a bomb morning preview to the trial, and then literally 45 minutes later, I came running out of the courthouse to give you guys an exclusive, one of the first to report it. The judge was furious this morning, talking to both sides of the defense and the prosecution, literally like they were in elementary school. Who lied? Who told? Who snitched? Who talked to the press? Mars, what up? Yeah, the judge was going off today, so we had to come run outside to give you guys a very quick exclusive with that. Then now we are at lunch. Our lunch was supposed to be at 12. Today went a little bit late. The judge started early and is going late. Such an explosive day. And guess what? Lunch ended off with the jury watching more freak-off tapes. Crazy. Today was even longer. Yesterday they got, I think in total, 3 different freak-off tapes for a total of 2 minutes. Today, the jury got to see, I think, 3 or 4 freak-off tapes for a total of probably good 10 to 15 minutes of freak-off tapes. I will take you guys through the entire day and end off with the freak-off tapes. Just remember, put your comments in. I will try to get, not comments, well, yes, you can comment, feel free to comment if you want, but put your questions in the chat. I will try my best to get to them. Lunch is a little bit hard. Kathy, what up? Hi, what up? Desiree, what up? Yeah, I'll try to get to them. You know, lunch, I got to be really quick. I don't even get to eat on my own lunch hour, but I'm running out here to get you guys this info really quick so you guys can be the first to hear it. Worldwide exclusives, Trent Out Loud. But I'll try my best to get to it, but I'm trying to get back inside by 1:30, okay? Because like I said, they're picking up right where they left off. Tenny Garagos is going to cross-examine special agent who put all of these freak-off tapes together, so I cannot miss even 1 second of the cross-examination, okay? All right, so I'll start off with this morning stuff for the people who did not catch the morning lives, but I'm gonna give you a quick summary of the morning. If you wanna get the full thing, make sure you check it out. Like I said, we already have 2 lives already for today, day 25, explosive day, okay? So, day 25, we're going to start talking about juror number 7, the next potential juror to be dismissed. Keep in mind, do not get confused. Juror number 6 is gone. It is over for him. It's done. There is another potential juror that might be dismissed. We, the public, should not know so many details about it. But I told you before even court started the details about it, and that's exactly why the judge got so mad, because he heard that people have details, and the only way that they could have gotten details on why juror number 7 was dismissed, that means that somebody on either the defense or the prosecution leaked the information. It was a closed court, press, content creators, nobody was allowed in there when they were talking. So it's either the judge or the lawyers, nobody else. So we know it's definitely not the judges. Or the clerk, so we know it has to be somebody on the prosecution or on the defense, okay? So let me give you the information that was leaked. On Friday, the juror went to the judge and say he got a text message from a number he did not recognize, and it said, hey, are you juror number 6? Don't forget, on Friday, we didn't know if juror number 6 was gonna get kicked off or not, so this juror, now we know it's juror number 7, got a text message asking if he was juror number 6, he or she. We still don't know if it is a woman or a man. Now, lawyers on both sides were also in the room. The judge and lawyers questioned juror number 7 about why or how he got this text message. And after questioning, the judge came to the conclusion that juror number 7 might be talking about the case. Jurors are not allowed to talk about the case whatsoever. Jurors are not even allowed to talk to themselves, much less their mommy, their dad, their significant other. Maybe their dog, animals, sure, but no other human beings, not even themselves. So Friday, they came to the conclusion, hey, juror number 7 might be talking. There was some evidence that the juror is lying and does know the number that actually texted him and was trying to make it seem like he doesn't know the number to get kicked so that he doesn't get kicked off. Let me explain. These jurors are not dumb. They understand that maybe maybe the judge or maybe somebody is watching their phones. Maybe they might ask to hand in their phones at one point. So the juror was like, hey, you know what? Just in case they ask us for our history or our text history, the fact that this person texts me, let me get ahead of it and tell the judge, hey, just in case you want to look at our phones one day, I just want to let you know I got a text message, but I don't know this number. The judge and the lawyers are not buying it. They think juror number 7 is running game, and the juror was probably talking to one of their friends before the trial started or as the trial started, and the friend stupidly texted this person instead of calling them and texted them and said, yo, I know you told me that you're on the jury. Are you number 6? So it kind of forced juror number 7's hand. I hope that I'm explaining that right. It's a little bit confusing, but I hope you guys get that of why he or she came forward, okay? Now, here is the problem. I have said repeatedly since the beginning of the trial, even before I got here, that the judge should have sequestered the juror. You wouldn't have had problems like this. You wouldn't have had a problem with juror number 6. He wouldn't have been able to go to Newark and go and be with his daughter and go and be with his baby mama. He would be sequestered. You wouldn't have that problem with juror number 6. Now, juror number 7, if they were sequestered, they wouldn't have their cell phones. They wouldn't be able to communicate. He or she wouldn't have been able to talk to their friend and say, hey, I'm on the jury. Their friend wouldn't be able to text them. This is why you sequestered the jury. I have said that this judge has made incredible decisions. He's super fair, but since the beginning, I have criticized this judge for making that mistake. It's not like it's a year-long trial or even 6 months. 2 months is really not that long. If you're not okay with being sequestered, I'm sure we could find somebody else, 12 other people or 18 other people in the Southern District of New York that is ready to give up 2 months of their lives and be sequestered. All right, O.J. Simpson trial, they did it for 9 months. This was only 2 months. Give me a break. Now, here is some other things that will tell you the judge knows that the jury, without being sequestered, the judge knows that they're going to talk. They know that the jury is going to look on social media. If he didn't know that, why would he put a gag order on the lawyers? The judge put a gag order on the lawyers not to talk about the case in the media in front of anybody. And it's not for us, the public. What does he care what we know and what the lawyers say to us? He put a gag order on the lawyers so that nothing of their strategy or nothing about the case would get to the jury. But the jury is not supposed to be listening to the news or talking about the case anyway. So why are you putting a gag order on the lawyers when the jury is not even supposed to be looking at the news, looking at their phone, or talking to anybody about the case? It doesn't make sense. The fact that you're gagging the lawyers means you should have sequestered the jury. Now, if number 7 gets dismissed, my opinion, this is just Trent's opinion, I think that looks really bad. I know that there's alternates for a reason, but you're telling me you got to dismiss 2 jurors within 1 week? That will look really bad. And you guys know that Diddy's defense is trying every single thing they can to get a mistrial. That is not even a hidden strategy. We know that. And a lot of the times, or the past 3 times that they've asked for a mistrial, it has been frivolous. Nobody even thought that it would get approved. If they request a mistrial after this, my opinion is I think there may be grounds for a mistrial, because that just means that the judge does not have the proper control over the jury, and it means that 2 out of 12 people, that's a pretty high percentage. 2 out of the 12 jurors are already not acting accordingly. What does that tell you about the other ones? They probably just haven't gotten caught yet. It's 2025. Everybody is doing something on their cell phone. Everybody is doing something on their laptop. You have notification, you have apps. It is literally impossible with content creators and everything that's going on. It is really impossible to exist in this world with a star like Diddy, with a case like this, being so global, for you to be a juror and be around the Southern District of New York and not hear about it. I'm just talking on the street right here and people are talking about it. Just imagine how they're going out on the weekend. Like, it is really, really, really a bad decision on the judge, and I hope this doesn't get Diddy's team a mistrial. That would just be really unfortunate, okay? Let me just check that I got all my notes. It's impossible as a human being. Do you know that the jurors are not even allowed to talk amongst themselves? I told you that. The jury should have been sequestered. That's a huge mistake. If another jury is kicked off, that's the grounds for mistrial. Now, on Monday, the judge says that he was going to address this new jury issue, they went to a sidebar and they said that they were going to tell us today on Tuesday. Sorry, they said that they were going to address it Monday afternoon. Hold on, let me skip over here. Now, so today, the judge walks in. We told you guys this at our 8:30 live. The judge walks in and says, listen, somebody leaked, somebody talked, somebody within this close quarters talked about juror number 7. There's no reason why this information is out there. Who spoke? He asked Comey, he asked Maureen Comey, the lead prosecutor. He said, Ms. Comey, please rise. I'm coming in today and I'm hearing reports. I don't know, maybe he's watching my podcast. I don't know. But he said there's an article that's out there. There's information about juror number 7. How do people know? We had this conversation on Friday and we had this conversation on Monday. We cleared the gallery. Ms. Comey, how do people know about juror number 7? It was only me, you, and your team, and Diddy and his team. She said, I don't know, Your Honor. I have no idea. All right, Ms. Comey, thank you. He said, Mr. Garagos, do you know what happened? Did anybody on your side talk? He said, Your Honor, I have no idea who talked. The judge came out and said, somebody is lying. Somebody is lying. There was only 7 of us in this room. How did it get out? How are YouTubers talking about this? Who talked to that media outlet and let them know about juror number 7? How did they even know it's juror number 7? The judge was pissed. The judge questioned Mark Agofino a second time. He only questioned Comey once. He questioned Mark Agofino and he said, Mr. Agofino, I would like to know, when were you aware that the article was out there? Mark stammered on his answer. He had to turn to Tenny, and Tenny was like, he says, oh, we only found out when the prosecution sent us the article. Excuse me, and I feel like the judge will let him off. That's not the question. The question is, when did you find out? I didn't ask you who sent it to you. You're a lawyer, you're a defense attorney. It's your job to make people uncomfortable on the stand. And how is the judge making you feel uncomfortable if you're telling the truth? I have reason to believe just from that it was Diddy's defense team that leaked that information to the media outlet because Mark was shook talking to the lawyer. Maureen Comey was like, no, Your Honor, not my thing, Your Honor, blah, blah, blah. Mark was like, I don't know. Tenny, when did we find out? Oh, we found out when they sent it to us. What time, sir? I don't know the time. You're talking something as huge as this and you don't know the time? Mark Agofino? Give me a break, Mark. You know, okay? Hold on. These ambulances are super loud. I hope you guys can still hear me. Wow, jeez. All right, so the judge reminded everybody after he questioned them, he says, I don't know if this is the rule, but he says, this is a breach of local rule 23.1. I'm not sure if I have the exact rule. He said, you guys have a gag order. You're not allowed to talk to the media. The result could be criminal charges. The judge threatened the prosecution and the defense that if he finds out who leaked and spoke to the media, they could face criminal charges. I've never heard a judge say that. He is pissed, trust me. You're potentially compromising this trial. Lead counsel is responsible for any leaks. He told Mark Agofino and Maureen Comey, look into your camp and find out and come back and tell me who leaked this information. I want to know. He is not letting this go. They're conducting an investigation. The trial will continue. I actually thought that he was going to send everybody home. He was so mad. I thought it was over. I'm telling you guys, I thought I was going to run out and be like, that's it, guys. It's over. The judge is saying that it's a mistrial. Who knows? He said that he's going to continue the investigation. Now, as a result of that, he said at the end of day today, at the end of testimony today, they are going to address the situation about juror number 7. Now that we know it's juror number 7 and the issue. Now, on Friday, or I don't remember if it's Friday or Monday, he asked the same question that he asked today. He said, lawyers, I'm going to ask you again, even though I'm very mad at you. How do you want to handle juror number 7? Should we have it in open court with the gallery and question juror number 7 about this text message, this alleged text messages, if he's talking, if he or she is talking? Should we have it in a closed court? Should we address juror number 7 in the robing room? How do you guys want to handle this? And both the prosecution and the defense said, can we please talk about it over lunch and we'll let you guys know. So this afternoon, I'll come out and I'll give you guys some information about juror number 7. I hope that they are going to deal with this the same way they dealt with juror number 6 and they did it in open court so that we knew about it. They might do it behind closed doors. If they do it behind closed doors, we will find out tomorrow morning, all right? So make sure you stay tuned. Court is supposed to finish around 3:30. I should be out at around 4 to give you an update. I will have an update for you guys first on juror number 7, okay? Now, let me tell you about, quickly about juror number 6, and then I'm gonna tell you, let me not jump, sorry, I'm rushing. Juror number 7, okay? Let me tell you why I think, and I'm pretty sure, why it was Diddy's team who leaked the information to the media. If juror number 7 gets dismissed, okay, the next person in line is a young black man. They just lost juror number 6, who was Latino black, or Mexican and black. If juror number 7 gets dismissed, again, I don't know if juror number 7 is white, black, male or female or whatever, but the next one in line that will replace, and by the way, when a juror gets dismissed, they don't pick whoever they want. It's the next one in line. There's 12 main and then 6 alternates. So juror number 6 left, it went to juror number 13, alternate number 13. Now, if juror number 7 gets dismissed, it will go to juror 14. Juror 14, I don't know how I feel about him, but he's very, very serious, and he's like, I don't want to say a street dude, but he's never smiled. He doesn't look at us. There's no emotion. He's stone-faced. He turns his back to us all the time. He walks in all the time with his hands like this all the time. And when they sit in the gallery, like, let's say this is the position where they're sitting and they're looking, he always has his back. He always has his back, so nobody can see him. Nobody can see his face. He's stone cold. It's very, very hard to assume what he is thinking, but I have a feeling, just my gut feeling, is that somebody like that from the Southern District of New York, always wearing a hoodie, always wearing, like jeans, like he's not like overly dressed. Like I just feel like he's a street dude. And I feel like he would more fit and understand the defense rather than being on the prosecution side. That's why I feel like the prosecution would want to get juror number 6 off because he was a black Mexican, 41 years old, who loved hip hop. Again, we don't know, we're just assuming, but somebody with that kind of background, you feel like he would more sway to Diddy's side. Not saying that he can't find him guilty, but you would think somebody who's 41, black, Hispanic, he might more side beyond Diddy's side. Again, now if juror number 7 leaves and they get a black juror on who's younger and more of a street dude, again, he's going to lean more to Diddy's side. That is why I think, maybe Diddy's defense team leaked that to the media, and there's more pressure now to get rid of juror number 7. Juror number 6, let me just wrap up about juror number 6. Yesterday, Diddy's defense team said that, Judge, if you dismiss juror number 6, we are going to call for a mistrial once again. But they asked the judge yesterday, before we make another call for a mistrial, we would like to know, how was juror number 6 informed about his dismissal? Was he aware that it was a prosecution that wanted him to leave and we were trying to keep him? And we also want to know what the other jurors know. This morning, the judge answered that, and he said, juror number 6 wasn't told any information other than his services were no longer needed. Juror number 6 has no idea. I'm sure he knows now, because now that he's not on the jury anymore, he's allowed to go and look in the media, and then he could just read, he could watch my podcast, and he'll find out why he was kicked off. The remaining jurors, again, they are not supposed to be looking at the news, they're not supposed to be looking at the media. They probably, if they're doing everything right, they don't know why he is gone. The reason why this is important is some people are of the theory that if the rest of the jurors find out that the prosecution was the one that wanted to kick off juror number 6, some of them might have some sort of anger or resentment to juror number 6. Like, hey, he's been here for a month. You know, you see somebody every day, you develop a relationship. Yeah, you're not allowed to talk about the trial, but I'm sure you could talk amongst yourselves, and you're just like, yo, this is my friend. The juror wanted to kick him out for what? Because he wanted to go see his daughter in jury. That might prejudice the jury a little bit. So we don't know what the jury has found out on their own, but the judge wanted to let everybody know that juror number 6, the jurors don't know why he has been released, okay? By the way, this is all before trial started, okay? Just want to give you guys an update on a timetable, and then I'm going to go to the testimony of the day. The defense had a huge win today, but again, this is just wrapping up everything that happened today. The defense said before trial started, the judge says, We asked you yesterday, guys, how long do you need to put on Sean Combs' defense? Mark Agofino got up and said, Your Honor, we will need 2 to 5 trial days. If you ask me, that is not good news for Diddy. After all this time, I said yesterday, since Cassie's lawsuit came out, since her civil suit came out, we haven't heard a word from Diddy except from when he did that Instagram apology after the CNN video. You're telling me after a year and a half, and you're telling me after tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of civil cases and all these accusations, all you need is 2 days for a defense? Are you joking? That means that Diddy does not have anybody willing to testify against them. You gotta think they gotta bring up an expert witness to counteract Dawn Hughes, who was the therapist who explained about trauma bonding and why certain women that are in relationships where guys are putting hands on them, they don't leave. They gotta have a therapist to come and counteract that. You gotta have a summary chart expert like the one who's on the stand now. I'm gonna talk to you guys about. That alone is a day or two. So where is this defense of, oh, this is the US government trying to bring down a successful black billionaire? I've been telling you guys that for the past week. Mark Agofino told TMZ two or three months ago before the trial started, he says, our defense, we will prove that the United States government feds are only after Diddy because he is a black successful billionaire and they're trying to bring him down. They're going to use the Diageo angle. He was trying to become bigger than they wanted him to become and they brought him down. How are you going to prove that in 2 to 5 days? I have no idea, man. It's either, like I told you yesterday, either Diddy's defense team is trying to be slick and trying to slide into okie doke and have the prosecution think, they have nothing. You see, we're cool. Let's just rest and let's not go. And then Mark Agofino is going to probably come on Monday and be like, by the way, we have a last minute witness. We need 8 days. And they're going to come with some tea. Like, I have no idea. But if they only have a defense for 2 days, that either means one of two things. A, they think that the prosecution's case is super weak, that they don't need to defend themselves. And let me tell you, I've been in the courtroom. Y'all can say whatever you want about, free Diddy, he's innocent or whatever. They have proven a lot. They have proven a lot. The SCX trafficking for women selling themselves is proven already. The SCX trafficking with force, fraud, and coercion, that is pretty much proven. There's some doubts. Yes, Jane had some holes. Cassie had some holes. Bonna has some holes. But I wouldn't be shocked if the jury found him guilty on that. The RICO, all day yesterday and even today, they made a strong case for RICO. If Diddy's team thinks that they could sit up there and just literally try to poke holes into the prosecution and think the jury is going to end up being in a hung jury and that's how he's going to get off, well, listen, that's not how I would play with my life. But hey, that's just me. I can't talk to Diddy, The third theory, if they only have a 2 or 3 day defense, that means that Diddy has somebody on the jury and he is super comfortable. Let's not waste our time. No problem. Put up a doctor, put up an expert witness, put up some summary charts. All right, cool. The defense rests because Diddy knows that he has somebody on the jury that's like, nah, man, I'm not guilty, Your Honor, not guilty. Oh, go back and think. Nah, not guilty. And then Diddy gets walked off. There has to be some sort of explanation. It's either the okie doke, they're going to pull off some surprises and be like, oh, we need more time. Or it's either they're just not great lawyers and they're making a mistake, which is not likely because they're some of the best lawyers in the world. Or Diddy is very, very comfortable with the jury that he's picked. We've told you guys a bunch of times, cases like this are won and lost in jury selection, and they have a very, very diverse jury. There are 2 black girls, 2 black guys, and 1 older black lady that their facial expressions, that black grandma, I really don't see her understanding the trauma bonding and understanding some of those things that are getting across. So they might feel like they have a juror that's on their side, and that's why they will rest quickly. All right, geez, I did 25 minutes. I didn't even get to the trial. That was everything in the morning. All right, let me tell you very quickly. The day started off with Brandon Paul. He came in there. He admitted that he had been subpoenaed. He pled the 5th, and you guys know what happens when you plead the 5th. After you get a subpoena, the government grants you immunity. Once you've been granted immunity, you have to talk. He will not go to jail as long as he tells the truth, okay? So we saw Brendan Paul very quickly. You guys know I like to give you insight from exactly what I see. So Brendan was wearing a black shirt, a black suit, white shirt, no socks, and black dress shoes. Very, very like fashion forward, all right? That's how Brendan looked. He should be getting on the stand by around 2 o'clock. So I'll come out at the end of the day. I'll probably have like an hour and a half testimony from Brandon, okay? So Agent Pendale, she started off the day. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her last name right, but she's the summary witness. For those of you who don't know, yesterday what I was telling you guys about a summary witness, it's very, very amazing what the prosecution has done. Think about it like an Excel chart, and they're putting all of their evidence in this Excel chart, and it's line by line. Here's Cassie's text messages. Here's what Diddy replied. Here's what Jane said. Here was this. So when the jury gets together to deliberate, everything will be super organized. So they bring in the person who made the chart to testify, and that's a way that they get in testimony. I told you guys yesterday, it was a smart and brilliant way to get information from KK without having KK even take the stand or have KK testify. Y'all know that KK is a co-conspirator, and if she takes the stand, like Brendan, they would have to give her immunity. They got enough information off of her phone. It was brilliant by the prosecution. However, the defense poked a lot of holes, and they had a win today. Yesterday was a huge victory for the prosecution. Today, the defense had a huge win, okay? So first, in the summary chart today, here is the win for the prosecution. So more summary chart. They showed payments for hotels. They showed payments from Bad Boy Entertainment, Sean John Global, and more from companies. Again, paying off for freak-offs, hotels, drinks, etc. You're not supposed to be using your business money for pleasure. That goes under the RICO Act. KK's card and Diddy cards were paying for things for freak-offs. Again, that goes under RICO. They paid for damage to drapes and carpets through Bad Boy. Deep cleaning and linen in hotels. If Diddy wants to try to say, oh yeah, we were going to hotels, but we were doing business meetings there, so I can pay for that from Bad Boy. Well, no, sir. Why do you have to clean the floors? Why do you have to clean the drapes? What's going on in there? You guys having business meetings, and what's going on? No, we know it's baby oil and Astroglide, sir. All right. There was one invoice under Frank Black. We know that is Diddy's code name. He got that from Biggie Frank White. There was one damage to a hotel, the Intercontinental, $48,000. That was a huge freak off, trust me. They caused damage of $48,000, and they showed evidence that the damage to that hotel room was paid from Bad Boy Inc., Sean John Enterprise. Again, go towards RICO. For y'all who say that RICO is not been proven, it was proven a lot yesterday and a lot this morning, okay? I have a quick little note here. There's one of the juries that were falling asleep. Again, like I said, I'd like to give you insight. These charts and data and all these numbers and stuff, it is a little bit taxing. That's the one thing I think the prosecution did it a little too long. They lost a couple of jurors, but if you're really zoned in on it, it was actually really smart for them to do, okay? Like I said, there's not only invoices in these summary charts, there's also text messages. So they were able to bring back up Cassie's text messages. Like I said, it's a way, these summary charts is a way for them to close their case, but just remind the jury about everything. So, hey, before you go deliberate, we just want to go through the summary of everything. And a couple of the summaries, they included Cassie having bruising, Cassie having a black eye. There's a text message from Cassie saying, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like doing these freak-offs. Remember the CNN tape where Diddy was texting her after saying, I'm getting arrested, call me, I want to see you, where are you? They showed us the metadata with the text messages. So if some of you believe that during the testimony, Cassie's just saying that now, oh, she's making it up, yes, blah, blah, they showed us metadata and actual figures and downloads from the cell phone companies so that we actually have proof, okay? Now, here is where the prosecution made huge strides today. The defense was able to cross-examine the person who put these summary charts together. Tenny Garagos did a masterful job. She was able to find a couple of mistakes, and like I always say, the only thing that you have to do as a defense attorney is show a reasonable doubt to the jury, and they have to find not guilty. Just a reasonable doubt. So they could work and spend a whole day with these summary charts and show videos and show receipts and show text messages. Tenny Garagos has to get, all she did today, get up and said, hey, you did a lot of work here. You have like 100 lines. Part of your job is to verify and make sure everything is accurate, right? This is an important trial. Yes. Okay. You've been working here how long? 10 years. Okay, cool. So there's no mistakes. Your job is to make sure there's no mistakes. That's correct. Well, I would like to bring your attention to line 52. Here's a mistake. You said that Sean was here and you showed a text message and you showed Cassie was here. Just want to let you know, Cassie was in South Africa at that time. Here is our evidence that she was in South Africa. Damn, yeah, sorry, I guess that was a mistake. They also found 2 mistakes right off the bat, which does not look good. Tenny found a few others going to a couple of days with Diddy and Cassie that they weren't together. Cassie, they showed, hold on here, sorry. Cassie and Diddy, okay, hold on. Cassie and Diddy did whatever their heart desires. Some cell phone records of Cassie asking, okay, so after they found a couple of mistakes, after they found a couple of mistakes, the person who did the summary, the summary chart didn't necessarily apologize, but she's trying to allude to the fact of like, hey, these things happen and I only put these charts together with the information that the prosecution is giving me. And if some things are inaccurate, then it has to do with the prosecution. My job is to make things sure that things are accurate. She's like, okay, thank you for that. Again, put a little bit of doubt in the juror's mind. Then what she did that was brilliant, Tenny Garagos and the defense team, what they did was brilliant. They're like, hey, while we're here talking about text messages and while you're here showing dates and putting everything in order, line number 85, you're talking about October the 12th and you put some text messages here. We went back into the archives and we found some other messages there. You're making the messages making our client look bad. We also found some text messages from Cassie that said that she wants the D, that she loves Diddy, that she loves the O word that Diddy gives her. Tenny said, how come you didn't include that? Your line item is talking about October the 21st, 2012, and you're making our client look bad. Your job is to make sure everything is in order for the jury. You're showing a text message that she doesn't want to freak off. How come you're not showing the text message that's 20 minutes later saying, hey, she really loved her night? Really, really big mistakes. She also found text messages where Cassie said, hey, what do you want to do tonight? Diddy replied, whatever your heart desires. I'm not asking for freak off. I just want to be with you. She was like, hey, your job is to organize the summary charts. Why didn't you put that in there? Why aren't you being fair to my client? You're putting in the summary charts all the bad stuff. You're putting all the bad text messages, all the bad receipts and all that bad stuff. How come you're not putting in text messages where Cassie is saying, hey, what do you want to do tonight? And Diddy's like, whatever your heart desires. Why is that not in there? Why isn't it in there that Diddy is saying, yo, I don't even want to do a freak off tonight. I just want to be with you and hang and chill with you. Again, I'm not riding for Diddy. I'm just trying to show you what the defense team did today. Again, it puts reasonable doubt in the jury's mind. They just heard for the past day or so the summary charts and all of these things with Diddy, and now they come in and find out that, hey, you're not really playing fair. You're not showing us everything. Very, very, very good job. Some cell phone records of Cassie asking Diddy if he wants to chill. I already told you guys that. Okay, now, here is where we ended off, and I'm going to end the video off. Maybe like 45 minutes before we broke for lunch, they said, we're at the summary charts where we're talking about video. So the summary charts first was like RICO, right? Where it was like the hotels, the credit cards, whatever, blah, blah. Then they went through text messages, okay? Text messages. Then they're like, oh, we're at videos. They said yesterday, you played some videos from the freak off. And let me go back to my notes from yesterday. They said, Special Agent, you decided to show 3 videos from the freak offs, 2 minutes in total. We would like to show the jury before those minutes and after those minutes. So for example, let's say a freak off is 20 minutes. The prosecution yesterday showed the jury minute 9 to minute 10. Tenny Garagos was like, we want to show the minute 4 to minute 13. On one video, they showed 57 seconds to a minute and 15, 142 to 251, 323 to 812, 5 straight minutes of a freak off. One of them they played from 9:45 all the way till the end. Let me tell you something. Yesterday, when the jury was watching these freak-off tapes, there was way more expression on their faces. I don't know if somebody told them, listen, the gallery is there and they're watching you and they're coming right back out and telling the world, so don't have that much expression. Today, there was not that much expression on the jury's face, except for a few. The older granny, she was not impressed with what was going on. But I also think the reason why there wasn't that much expression is that the defense is showing parts of the freak-off tapes that are positive, that are in a positive light. I think yesterday, the prosecution was showing parts that were harder to watch. And that's why they had more expression, because they're obviously trying to make Diddy look bad. They're not gonna show things in a positive light. And that is why the defense, I feel, had a major win today, because if they have access to the same tapes and the prosecution is only allowed, or it's not allowed, sorry. If the prosecution is only able to find 2 minutes to play for the jury, but the defense team is able to find 20 minutes to play for the jury, what does that tell you about the freak-offs? It means that there are more minutes of positivity than there are negativity. Now, 2 minutes of negativity is already too much. So let's just keep that in mind. And again, I'm not here to be on anybody's side. I'm just here to present you guys the facts and you guys draw your own conclusions. But I just want to repeat, the prosecution chose 2 minutes out of, let's say, an hour, 2 minutes out of an hour to show the jury yesterday. Diddy's defense team chose 20 minutes out of an hour. You decide what that means. It's not up for me to tell you that. You guys decide. Yesterday, I was able to tell you about the sounds. I told you guys that I heard like some slurping and some talking. It was really unsettling. Today, one of the security guards caught on that us in the gallery can hear, and we're all like trying to hear, because they have headphones on, by the way. Nobody is seeing it except for the jurors, but you know when you have a headphone on, you can kind of hear like little sounds? The security guard came up and was like, hey, the gallery can hear even really, really faintly. So they turned it down and they took one of the headphones away from the microphone, so we couldn't hear anything today. But we do know that they were definitely watching freak-offs. We were all definitely attentive. Diddy was watching the jury hardcore. He was sitting down the whole 20 minutes like this. Like, he did not look away. We too were studying the jury, because at the end of the day, nothing else matters. What you think doesn't matter. What I think doesn't matter. Content creators, TMZ is there, CNN is there, ABC. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. It doesn't matter what the judge thinks. It doesn't matter what the lawyer thinks. Only thing that matters is the 12 jurors who get a say on Diddy's sentence. That's the only thing that matters. So in a time like this, we are always just watching the jury. They did a really good job today. We did not know exactly how they're feeling. Like I said, there was one black girl there who she's very, very, very expressive all the time. And she's always doing like, like she's always doing stuff with her face. When she was watching the video, she was trying to like keep her composure, but she was like a little bit. And the granny, who is a black lady, I'd say she's probably around like 65 or whatever, she just was not impressed. She was like this, like, and like she would take her headphones off even before that she needed to. She would kind of look away, like she was not into whatever she was seeing, okay? The black girl who's very expressive, I told you that. One guy was scratching his head. I don't know if he was scratching his head just because he was scratching his head or I'm just reading too much into it. Started where yesterday left off. Yeah, I told you guys that. So they were like, I thought it was very smart. And Tenny said that. She goes, oh, jury, by the way, the prosecution wanted you to see 5 minutes to 6 minutes yesterday. We would like to play for you before. Here is this before. Watch this. Okay. And now we want to play for you after. Here we go. Like, it was very, very, very well done. And if it worked like how they want to, the jury is probably going to feel a little duped and feel like the prosecution should have just played them the whole tape. If you ask me, they should play them the whole tape from beginning to end. That's why even the defense is still a little bit shady. Bro, they've been here for a year and a half. This is all about these freak-off tapes. Play it from beginning to end. Let's see really what's good. You know what I'm saying? But at least the prosecution found 20 more minutes. I feel like that is definitely something in there. All right. So that is it. Woof, I finally made it in 38 minutes. All right, I'm gonna go back inside. I don't wanna miss anything. The special agent is still under cross-examination. I'm sure she's gonna ask her more about the freak-offs. tune in back again. We'll do a live 3:30, 4 o'clock. Tune in. I'll let you guys know more. Sorry that I couldn't get to your comments and everything below, but today after court, I'll have a lot more time. I won't be rushing. I will recap the entire day for you. I'll give you a summary of what I did now for those who didn't see it, and I will answer your questions below. Any questions you have, put in the comment section. I really appreciate you guys for supporting me. I hope you liked it. I will see you in around 2 hours, all right? Peace.